Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, once again to On The Slab Horror Show with me, your host, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, joined by my right-hand man and my left-hand man in no particular order, the G-Man, Greg Flanagan, and of course, the King himself, Carl King Woe. Today's show is, as always, being brought to you by Fright Rags, the best in horror apparel anywhere in the world, anywhere on the planet, anywhere in the stratosphere. And Greg is rocking one of their beautiful tops there, a nice trick or treat. It's actually a long sleeve, but he has his sleeves pulled up there just to show the tattoos. He's showing it off there. The feedback so far has been great to the merch that we've shown so far, and hopefully all you guys and gals are out there availing of the special thing that we have for you, which is 10% off your purchase when you go to frightrags.com. So that's fright-rags.com. Or if you're an Instagram baby or a Twitter baby, you can, of course, or Facebook also. You can go to their shop on any of the social media platforms as well. Make sure you buy in bulk because there is too much content there, too much merchandise just to come away with one. So obviously, if you're here in Europe, it's going to benefit you a lot more if you buy in bulk, because that 10% is pretty much going to pay for your customs charge and then some. Or if you're in the United States and you're watching the show, which we hope you are, then it's a winner for you too, baby. So Fright Rags are our official sponsor. They're bringing this show to you today as always. So be sure to go and check them out. Tell them that the On The Slab guys sent you and get yourself 10% off. But now that we've taken care of that business, today we are, this is a show that I've been looking forward to for a long time. As you notice, I've got old Slimer here on my top. It's not a Fright Rags top, just so you know. Unfortunately, I'm sure Fright Rags will bring some out now after seeing this podcast. And
Ben, get on it.
Ben, come at me, bro. I got the dough. Let's do it. Yeah, today we're actually, rather than doing Ghostbusters 1, 2, or of course Afterlife, we're going to do the trilogy, taking away the rotten female one. So for any of you woke people out there that are offended by that, sorry, it was just
There
a
is not,
shit
yes,
film.
there's only three. There's only three.
There is only three.
It was just a shit film, and fucking ask any toy lines. Nobody bought that female version of the Lego that they had out there.
So bad.
Yeah,
So bad.
Yeah, it was so bad. And I know, you know what I mean? Listen, we're honest lads here. We call it like we see it. If anyone wants to cry tears, well, cry more. We're
If anyone wants to come and tell us that that's a good movie, you can fuck off.
No, they can debate it with us, but they'll fucking lose. That's the
But guys, it's all inclusive. It's 2022. They were much better than the guys. No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Melissa McCarthy, funny girl, have to say.
No, she's not funny.
No, she's not.
Okay, there was me trying to be inclusive, but the boys have shut me down. I love it. This is what we're all about.
Tina Fey.
This podcast is brought to you by the Republican Party of the United States of America.
What happened? Banned straight away.
Boom! Oh, you can't ban us, man.
We know what we like.
Elon Musk owns Twitter now, basically. We're okay.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Gas.
No more banning for Twitter, which is great. No.
This episode's going to be the first in our franchise series then.
Absolutely. But no, what we said we would do is we were going to go through the franchise. So we're going to go through the 1984 film, Ghostbusters 2, 1989, and of course, the latest one, Afterlife, which is 2021. It's a look, as you boys know, that this is probably in my top 2 or 3 franchises of all time.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt. I grew up on the cartoon, grew up on the movies, had all of the figures, the collectibles back in the cartoon days, which Carl will probably remember. Don't know whether you would, Greg. You might have just been before you.
I remember them being on. They were old. They were obviously reruns, but I remember them being on.
Yeah, I had because obviously 1989 would have been when I went to the cinema to see that movie. So I was 5 years old.
What a movie!
I went to see that in the Savoy cinema, and I remember still the big cardboard cutouts all around the the atrium of the Savoy Cinema in Dublin, and it was just unbelievable. And it's still my
I've only been
favorite.
to
It's my personal favorite of the two, purely because it was my first, and I still think it's crazy that it's underrated in some people's books, or you know what I mean?
Not in our books. Not in our books.
No, I
Jesus,
think
no.
Ghostbusters 2 is one of those movies that actually transcends the first one and brings it to a new level, which is just absolutely fantastic. So
I will
we
go on a bold one, you know. Two is the weakest of the trilogy, though.
no, definitely not.
No, I disagree with you there.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
three.
that's not taking anything away from it. I
No.
think three is better than two.
No, I think True 2 has the strongest plot, and it's got the more horror element
Yeah.
of it.
It's darker,
but,
yeah.
But let's get into it
It's
then.
definitely dark.
Yeah, well, let's get into it. So, obviously, the first movie, 1984. Again, just another one of those movies that is the year of my birth. Everything great happened in 1984, including
Apart from
me.
me being born.
Including me. Well, you wouldn't be here, bitch.
Yeah, I was.
Be nice
thought
to your
about
dad. Be nice to your dad, Greg. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oi, hombre. Even though I don't live there anymore.
I haven't done for a long time.
Oh no, yeah. No, it's obviously it was the whole context of it was that it was the I suppose the presentation and the marketing of it, that it was kind of a supernatural comedy movie. Which, listen, when you look at the players involved, Dan Aykroyd, written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. My God, I mean those two, just phenomenal. Dan Aykroyd with his Blues Brothers off the back of his Blues Brothers stuff as well, just absolute gold. And then of course when you bring Bill Murray into anything, it just makes it better. It's like Sigourney Weaver, Rick Moranis. My God, the cast of this. But this movie here, I mean, it's mad. I went back and watched it. Do you know what? The funny thing about it is, I noticed something today. It came out on June the 8th, 1984. I was born on June the 9th. Isn't that mad?
Right.
It's just weird when you look.
Ian Starr's the one pump chump.
I'm telling you, he was doing it for Bill Murray.
If he had time, he'd done one for Bill.
Yeah, exactly. So budget 30 million.
Jeez.
Jesus. Box office 295.2.
Oh, so it did well, so yeah.
Cha-ching,
Not
cha-ching,
bad,
cha-ching.
Was always getting a sequel.
Man,
Always.
I mean, one thing we mentioned at the start here, and obviously it's important because this is where we're going to mention the cast, and obviously Bill Murray is Peter Venkman, Dan Aykroyd is Ray Stantz, Sigourney Weaver is Dana Barrett, Harold Ramis as Egon Spengler, Rick Moranis as Lewis Tully, Ann Potts as Janine Melnitz, which I love her, man. She reminds me of Cyndi Lauper or something. She reminds me of Cyndi Lauper. She has that cute New York type, thing going on. I love it. William Atherton as Walter Peck and Ernie Hudson as Winston Zedmore. The casting in this is absolutely fantastic. And I mean, lads, Bill Murray, I mean, he's one of my favorite things ever. Just Bill Murray, things ever. Like
he's not even a human anymore.
He's transcended humanity. Like the guy
transcended the human plane. Yeah.
Like, could you imagine it being that house party that was in Ohio that time when he just knocked on the door and started drinking cans with the lads?
Yeah. Or even when he was in Ireland, everyone heard when he was over, because he comes over for the cup a lot of times, for the golf. And when he was in Burger King on O'Connell Street. And he was walking out of Burger King, and he basically took some lads' fries that were like, there was a couple of lads sitting around the table. He just yoinked them and goes, now you can say you were robbed by Bill Murray, and he walked out. And
you'd just let him, wouldn't you? Absolutely.
Well, that's what the boys did.
When he was at St Andrews at the Open a couple of years ago, he showed up to a house party, walked into the kitchen, was standing there with two lads, and he was like, you can tell people, but they won't believe it that I was here, and just left.
I heard that one, yeah.
The only man as well that doesn't even have an agent. You've obviously heard this story. He basically gets his roles by he has an answering machine. that he basically uses, and people pitch him that way, and he basically deciphers what he likes and doesn't like, and he goes for it. Like he said that's one of the reasons why he done a lot of kind of obscure stuff in the 2000s. You know what I mean?
He definitely had a broken answering machine when he done the Aquatic Life of Steve Zissou.
But you know what? Because it's him, it doesn't matter. It's Bill Murray, and the best hairline in acting history that just never went anywhere. I mean, you know, he had that little tuft of hair in 1984, and you see it blown down Central Park when they're walking down Central Park, and it's like it didn't go anywhere. It's just stayed that way forever.
No, I loved him. I loved him in Kingpin. Remember Kingpin?
Oh man, the little
overdone hair.
Oh man. Yeah. But yeah, look, there is going to be a bit of a Bill Murray love in here, especially when I'm hosting a show. He is probably my favorite comedic actor, one of my favorite just people in general ever. To be honest with you, just
when you look at a lot of his roles, though, they're not really overtly comedy roles either. Like
no.
Stripes wasn't a full comedy role.
He just brings that element to it because of his natural, like he's the original Will Ferrell, Jim Carrey type guy. Do you know what I mean? Where he just ad-libbed his own stuff. One of my favorite scenes, before we get into the premise of the movie, we're not going to get into the premise of it in general. We're just going to talk about it and
slightly skip around it. Yeah.
One of my favorites is the guy who was also in The Fly, the kind of lawyer that's after him, the ginger guy. It's always them fucking gingers with the beard.
Yeah, man from the EPA or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he do you remember when
EPA?
Do you remember eventually they get the mayor on side, and the mayor takes the side of the Ghostbusters, and your man's going, "I'm going to have you for this. I'm going to get you, Venkman," and he's getting escorted out, and Venkman goes, "I'm going to miss that guy. Like he's a really good guy," and he goes, "I'm going to send him a fruit basket." It's like,
fruit basket.
I'm going to
100% ad-libbed. 100%.
100%. I'm going to send him a fruit basket. It's like
that's the most Bill Murray thing. What happened? I met Bill Murray, and all of a sudden you get a fruit basket.
You know what I mean? He asked me for my address, and literally 2 days later, a fruit basket showed up at my door. It's kind of like
I actually I had the chance to meet Bill Murray out in Florida when me and my dad and Milka went over golfing. We were in his Caddyshack pub. So all the memorabilia and all is in it, and it's on the World Golf Village up near Jacksonville.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there eating my food. Next thing you know, there's 6 or 7 life-size cardboard cutouts, and next thing I look over and he's standing where one of the cutouts was, and I was looking at him going, "That's not the way it was earlier." And actually starts walking. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Bill Murray." I proper fanboyed out. I was like,
well, you know what? I'm glad you didn't get to meet him, because I'd be jealous. And
I did meet him.
But
I fanboyed out. I still went over. You can't pass him a chance to meet Bill Murray.
Did you go over to him? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pity Bill Murray had to meet his first chump from Bray, and it'd be Greg Flanagan. But it's okay.
Still showed him how to drink a pint of Guinness, though.
well, that I don't do.
Even if the head was yellow.
Look, lads, in terms of the cultural impact of this movie, it's very, very significant. I mean, 1984, like we mentioned, was just a mental year for that sort of movie.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously for horror as well, but for that kind of you know, when you look at the likes of, you know, Back to the Future franchise started that year, you know, Gremlins, we can go on and on and on. Like, that year was just an absolutely insane year for it. But Ghostbusters is definitely up there. It was right up there. It was number 1 for 7 consecutive weeks when you think about it, and one of it was one of only 4 films to gross more than 100 million that year. When you think of that year that we're saying,
wow,
it was, because I mean, it appealed to adults, everyone, and children. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of the jokes,
the marketing team was I'd say it was so good for it. Like, they produced Slimer from it, and Slimer became this household name then. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, Gremlins done it with Gizmo.
Yeah.
And like, everywhere you'd see Gizmo teddies and toys and figures. Yeah. You had Ghostbusters that had obviously Slimer, and then you had Ecto-1.
Oh.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, and
yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just phenomenal.
What do you think of? I mean, it is quite obviously. You know, it's mad when you look back and you look at how young Sigourney Weaver was. Like, because I always thought Sigourney Weaver had that kind of mom type head. You know what I mean? She looks like your aunt or whatever. But Jesus, good Lord, when she was demon Dana, she was like, okay, Dana's got something.
Smoking.
Dana's got
We're
something.
all in here.
And by the way, lads, Rick Moranis in this, like, he's so fucking funny. Every time she walks past, he's opening the door and locking himself out. It's like, by the way, that motherfucker during that Black Lives Matter rally just punching Rick Moranis for absolutely no reason, shape or form.
Didn't even see that.
Yeah, man, it was absolutely fucking disgusting. The guy's literally knee high to a grasshopper and seems like one of the nicest guys on the planet, and just hit him because it's Rick Moranis. Fucking shame on you. I hope wherever you are, you're fucking suffering in some way.
That's just ridiculous. Like.
Yeah, man, it was absolutely disgusting. It was only the only reason I'm calling that out was because I watched the movie 2 nights ago and I was like, man, look at this guy. He's so little. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he
fit that Honey I Shrunk the Kids perfect. Didn't have to do that until him.
dude, that was a great fucking movie. Good Lord, that's a great movie. But yeah, Rick Moranis really holds a place in this, and obviously, you know, it's the gatekeeper and the key keeper, you know, all this kind of stuff.
The keymaster and the
keymaster, exactly, and the gatekeeper, and obviously it's this particular, you know, apartment block that you know that they're after, and I thought
it just happens to be.
yeah. And I thought, lads, the practical effects in this were actually very good, weren't they? Considering it was a budget of 30 million as well, like it was really, really good. Like when he's getting chased by the gargoyle through Central Park, and he's banging at the restaurant.
I would have said, that's probably the worst bit of it when the dog actually, when Gozer starts moving.
Yeah.
But like Gozer looks really well when he's like lying on the bed, coming out from between the clouds because everyone's throwing them on him.
Yeah,
man, that was actually hilarious.
Who let the Jaguar in here?
Yeah. Oh, did someone bring a dog?
The dogs did look great. They looked fantastic in this.
No, Gozer does look great. What do you think, Carl, about, you know, the bit when you know, they're up at the top of the building and you see the brick breaking off and you see his claws coming out and you see the red eyes. It was actually pretty scary.
Like when you think of I was just gonna say earlier on, like a lot of the films that we mentioned, like say like the Gremlins, this Back to the Future, there was a certain way that stuff was filmed.
Yeah.
And it's of its time. Yeah, of its time, and it's just, I don't know, it's grittier, it's darker or something, you know. And like you're saying, like number 2 was a bit darker than this one, but there's just like there's a weird, like it's not scary, but there's a bit of a weird, creepy feel about it, you know, that I like. That it's just like a familiar creepy feel, you know. And when you see Gozer coming out of that, you know, that the brick, I think that's great as well. All practical for the most. It really is all practical effects, and you can't beat it.
So I was sitting here one night and I had Finn here and he was like, can we watch Ghostbusters? And I was like, yep. No. When your 4-year-old comes to you and says, we watch Ghostbusters. Well, he was 4 at the time, he's 5 now. Can we watch Ghostbusters? So I put it on for him, right? And remember the opening scene, it goes to the library.
Yeah.
That's about as far as we got. Punch you one snaps. Now we've gone back to watch it since, and he's watched it a few times. And we took him to the premiere of Afterlife, and now we got a bit freaked out in that because of obviously the Gozer's dogs are more
realistic-ish
and scarier in that one. But like, it was gas. Like I remember watching it, and then I got to that, and he's like, nope, turn that off. All right, pal.
What? So. Greg, what do you think of so talk about like the heel in this? Obviously I thought that the scene on top of the hotel is absolutely fantastic. It's not very dark, it's more just kind of, it's very old school actiony almost. It's
simple really is what it is.
Yeah.
They didn't overdo it, which was great. They left it just pretty much demon coming, needs these 2 parts. Once they get he's free to come back, or she's free to come back.
Yeah, no, I thought it was fantastic, and the one-liners in this, like when they're all trying to double up the proton packs, and they're like, "Whoa, that was easy." She disappeared.
Don't cross streams.
Don't cross streams. I mean, like the actual innuendos in there are fucking hilarious, and like even another thing when Bill Murray, when he's at the start, when he's doing his little. He's doing it, you know. He's a psychologist, and he's basically he's reading the cards, and he's giving the guy. He keeps getting it right, and he's like, "Nah, man," and he keeps shocking him. And the chick is just like getting them wrong all the time. And he goes, "You have a gift."
And then he gets called out, and he's pretty much been like, "No, I'm busy."
Busy. Can't you see here? But
I love him. He's so good.
Well, look, the success of that was obviously, you know, so big that there were, and the 80s was the, you know, in particular, the decade of the follow-up, of the sequel. So it was only right that, you know, there was a Ghostbusters too.
To be honest, when you budget 30 million, you bang 280 or 290, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You were always getting a sequel. Even if you took 30 million out of that to make the second one. You're gonna make that money. Well,
believe it or not, the second one was still only 30 to 40 million budget.
No, but that's what I mean. Like, you take some of that out of it, you're still talking about 200 million profit, and then whatever you make off the second one.
Well, the first one, the first one made 295 million. The second one still made 215.4 million, but still with a budget of 30 to 40. So it's like if you do the maths and you do the business etiquette on it, it's like, well. You're
talking about 70 million for two movies, and you made 290 off the first one alone.
Exactly.
It'd be stupid not to do it.
Yeah, obviously, this was June the 16th, 1989. So they're staying with the month of June.
I still wasn't born. Still wasn't even thought of.
We weren't born. Obviously, we've the same cast. This movie, we were talking earlier. This is, I feel, a little bit of a darker movie, a bit scarier.
Definitely.
Obviously, they've made it now, which is kind of cool, and you see the ads for the Ghostbusters. But that opening scene, obviously, where they're at the kids' party, you know, basically they're like, "I want a clown, and I was like, and by the way, the soundtrack in this movie is fucking awesome. Your love lifting me higher. What a tune, baby. But yeah, like this is just absolutely fantastic. Same cast.
Did you find that like theoretically the opening, say, 20 minutes of this movie is them pumping merchandise out?
Yeah,
it was literally basically advertising merchandise that they're gonna put out
that you can actually buy. Yeah.
You can hire the Ghostbusters.
Particular shout out in this, by the way, to Peter McNichol for Janusz, the little hello Dana. He is just fantastic.
How creepy is it though, Joe, when he comes along and he takes the baby and he's like flying like a banshee?
Yeah, and he's like looking at her.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I was scared of when I was a kid was when he does knock at he knocks at her apartment like late at night and he goes, "Hello, I just came to check you and the baby," and he's like, "Oh, hello." Then when he puts his head in, "Hello," and she's like, "He's sleeping." And she gets rid of him, and he's walking down the corridor. But when he's walking down the corridor and the eyes just turn into torches, that scared the living shit out of me as a kid. Yeah. This movie was proper, like, you know, it was about obviously Vigo, the Carpathian, and the painting itself was just fucking terrifying anyway.
I know, look, you can buy that now, can't you? You can actually buy that.
You can, yeah. Wilhelm von Homburg is the name of the actor that played him, and a very, very
big man too.
Yeah, very, very evil looking character. Really, really done well. I you know what's great about this particular movie? And this is why it's good for adults and kids, but this is where the horror elements come in. There's certain parts of it that you're terrified. But then the music, that little piano bit, when it comes into the next scene, it makes you feel safe also, doesn't it?
Familiar.
Because you're so familiar with the characters that you're like, okay, this is kind of cool. And this is where Peter now is really going for his play with Dana. She obviously gets the old bathtub full of the slime. And the slime is basically dark pink, light pink, any kind of pink. And it's growing under the city in the old.
Not the good type of pink though.
Yeah, exactly. It's but it's growing under the city. It's like a river of slime basically going under the.
Ectoplasm, isn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they keep calling it slime originally, but then obviously they figure out it's ectoplasm. That's when they obviously go into that scene where they put it into the toaster and Jackie Wilson, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't it Ray and Igor?
Ray and Egon, yeah.
They're arguing, and then it starts to get worse, and they're like, "Evil is making it better." Stronger.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, that scene as well, where the boys go down into the sewer, and like the guys are going, "What are you doing here?" And like Bill Murray's like, "What are you talking about? I got a thing to do here. Come on, what are you breaking my balls? Call your contractor." Blah blah blah. It's just such a good ad libber. Like it's
again, 100% ad libbed.
Listen, I'd say most of his lines were, to be fair,
very loose.
What happens, Bill? You don't have a script. Just wing it.
It's just it's absolutely fantastic, and like I say, it's funny. Even though he's such a messer, like you can see how Dana feels comfort in his presence and all that. You know what I mean? Because he does mean business when it's time to go. Like, and I mean, I think some of that scene, obviously in it, when you see all the ghosts going around town and you see the sky, and obviously the mayor goes, "Somebody get me the Ghostbusters." And
we had them committed.
Man, it's unreal when you see that whole scene of like the Titanic turning up.
That's literally what I was about to say. I love when the dock worker rings. He's like, "You want to call the mayor? Why? Because the Titanic just docked."
Yeah, and you see them all getting off it in the crack in the side of it. Man, the effects, the visuals in this were fantastic.
Brilliant.
Yeah, like that's why there was an extra 10 million budget, I'd say.
Yeah. Did you love that bit as well in the courtroom when they go into the courtroom and the chairs start flying up? And after it's all said and done, Bill Murray's like, ah, he's like screaming after it's all said.
I love that courtroom scene though where he's like, "It's the Tin Brothers. I gave them the chair."
Yeah. But like when the boys take care of business,
they have like the headband on where you obviously get electrocuted and whatnot. It's like it's not even just a jumpsuit. They have like the actual gear on. It's brilliant. Some of the touches in it were absolutely fantastic.
They done it very cartoonish as well, didn't they? With a lot of the ghosts, like they made them look cartoony.
But I'd say you couldn't really do it otherwise because they wanted to keep it to an age limit.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Because it was scary enough. You know what I mean? Without. Carol, what did you think of this movie overall? Because obviously you said as well that you think this was the best of the franchise. So you're on camp.
Yeah, it's I liked Vigo I liked the whole premise of, like trying to get him out of the fucking the painting, And I liked the whole idea of that ectoplasm crap underneath New York. I just thought it was, in fairness, like it's not that it's better or anything than the first one. They really are. Yeah, they're different. I love both of them.
Oh, they're both fantastic. Yeah.
I absolutely adore both films. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, just something a little bit more quirkier about the second.
A little bit more special, I think. The way they get the Statue of Liberty moving. By the way, another little Bill Murray scene when he goes into the art gallery and he's like taking pictures of Vigo and he's like, "Come on, Vigo. Oh, you're getting me angry. Oh, you're looking good there, Vigo. Oh," he's trying to
smile for me, baby. Smile
for me, baby. It's just you can almost see at times in scenes, can't you, that Sigourney Weaver is actually trying not to laugh. She does that smile, and it's like,
how could you not though? Like Bill Murray just coming out with some random, like I'd say he's gas to be around on set.
Oh, listen, I'd say it's just gas to be around in general, like what I mean.
General,
just can't fucking help.
Like even when you see him, Joe, when he does like the charity golf events and all, he's just cracking jokes before hitting shots and everything. You're like,
and he'd just be messing. Did you ever see him doing the kingpin stuff and all, where you'll stop before you take a shot and all, and he'd be like,
he's just gas. Like,
I love the man. I absolutely love the man. But no, for me, this was a very, very special movie. I love both, scenes. Obviously, the Marshmallow Man and in the first one, and obviously the Statue of Liberty in the second one. The way they kind of harvest the positive energy from the ectoplasm into into the Statue of Liberty, and it's very Americana. It's very feel good.
Yeah.
It's still a movie that I can watch once every year or two, and just feel that.
I'd say I definitely do watch all of them. Well, obviously you can't say all of them because the new one only came out last year, but I've seen it twice. I'd say I probably do watch Ghostbusters 1 and 2 at least once a year.
Yeah, same with me.
Yeah,
I've had my recent fill, obviously, of Ghostbusters 1 there at the weekend, so I'm probably, I'm due a catch up. Like, if you saw my outside attic and you saw the amount of Ghostbusters merch that I have that I've kept hidden away just so that it's new to me every time I look at it, it's fucking unbelievable. No, I mean, look,
Rachel keeps throwing shit out and bringing in new stuff.
She keeps no, she just keeps adding to it. She's the one that keeps buying it, and I'm like, all right, keep it going, baby. In fact, I have the San Diego 2019 Comic-Con 4-pack of the first Ghostbusters movie with all the slime on them. From NECA, yeah, like, oof, that's unbelievable shit. Right, so we'll get on to now. This is obviously, we'll spend a bit of time talking about this one. Obviously, Afterlife did come out last year, and we were all fucking highly anticipating this. I know us three were, because we were sharing it in the group chats that we have. And I mean, the great thing about this, I have to say, again, from the marketing team, didn't give too much away.
They gave enough
to know that the Ecto 1 all was there, and that was it. That's all we knew. And we knew, of course, that Paul Rudd was going to be in it. So you had me there. You're looking at basically a reincarnation, the younger version
Paul
of
Rudd's so hot. Paul Rudd's so hot right now.
Listen, Paul Rudd, in my opinion, is still funnier than most of the new guys. I actually think he's more like Bill Murray than even Will Ferrell and all that.
Brilliant.
He's out with these,
Well, Will Ferrell's different.
He's
it's
different.
a different kind of comedy.
But you can tell he got his influence from people like Bill Murray, though. But I just think Paul Rudd is so... I don't know.
I would have said more the likes of Rodney Dangerfield kind of way for Will Ferrell.
Yes.
In terms of the kind of slapstick comedy.
I think he's
whereas you can see my comparison with Paul Rudd, with the likes of Bill Murray. He's like a modern version, just with his little one-liners. Probably one of the best ad-libbers of the modern generation, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
With my dick proves it all.
Do you know who's a very good ad-libber? Do you remember Scrubs? Neil. He played the janitor, Neil.
Oh yeah,
Neil Flynn.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah,
he's one of the funniest.
Most of his lines are one ad-libbed.
Yeah, he's very good.
But Paul Rudd's so good in everything.
Everything. So obviously, look, it comes out. Let me actually see the dates on this, and I want to see if it lines up.
This came out the 4th of November or something.
Well, it was released in August originally, so you can say that. Budget was 75 million, but it still made 197.4. Now it's obviously going down a little bit. Obviously, it's not as impressive as the figures back in,
It was released in August.
Yeah, in America, it was released in CinemaCon August 23rd, 2021.
Oh, that was that preview one. Yeah. So we got it. I got my other half. Got tickets off Universal to go to the premiere in Dundrum, and they had like a big mad party. Do you know what you were saying? The Savoy had all the
yes.
These had people dressed up as Ghostbusters and everything. Good.
I was kind of lucky with the Savoy because basically my man and my auntie worked in it, so I was able to get into.
I was like family.
Yeah, family.
But we got to go to that, and then I know it came out a couple of days later because I couldn't say anything to you. All I could say was wow.
Yeah.
Well, look. This was in development since Ghostbusters 2. This is the thing. Originally, the sequel was in development. They had kind of scripts and went back and forth on it and stuff like that. Murray refused to turn to the series. Obviously, he wanted to try new things and stuff like that. And he probably felt like, that was enough. That maybe
two was enough for the time.
Yeah. To be fair, so we can actually, I'm not going to be a spoilsport here and go turn on Bill now, not do a sudden heel turn on him and go, yeah, Bill, you should have given us more, because as we've seen with the Jaws franchise. Now, look, I said it before. I love all the Jawses just purely because it's Jaws. But within that context, I also understand that it's not a great franchise for what it should be. Do you know what I mean?
Quality, yeah.
And I think that's probably where Bill Murray saw this and kind of thought, because Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, this was their baby. I mean, this all came from Dan Aykroyd originally because he's just obsessed with the supernatural and UFOs and stuff like that, which is great.
He's done a few things like that as well, though. He's came out and he's done. Yeah. I remember seeing him on Ripley's Believe It or Not and things.
Ooh. By the way, shout out to Dan Aykroyd, yeah.
What a man! There's a great actor. Like, he has found himself in so many random things. Like, he was the dad of the little girl in My Girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you go from Ghostbusters to My Girl?
He's a great guy as well. He's great. Anyone that hasn't seen him, check him out on Joe Rogan's podcast actually a few years back, where he has his little Crystal Skull vodka and all that. Like, he's just mad into all. Yeah, he's mad into like UFOs and stuff like that. Some people call him, a Tim Foiler, but like, so what? It's fun, isn't it? Well, it's
there's
fun,
actually there's a great little thing of behind the scenes from this film when they refurbished Ecto 1.
Yes.
And they brought him out. I think they were trying to reacquire it. Yeah. And they got him to go out and help them get the original one back. And then they did it all up. And then he brought it out. Yeah, he brought it out for test drive. It's online somewhere. It's very.
You'd probably get it on YouTube, would you?
Yeah, I'm sure. I think you can. He watched it on YouTube.
Check it out, guys. Yeah, that'd be really, really cool. Now, let's get into this. Obviously, look, people know that we're emotional fuckers on this podcast when we need to be. But obviously, Harold Ramis passed in 2014, and this was kind of one of his babies as well, because he was one of the kind of producers and scriptwriters, and very, very big part. I mean, there would be no Ghostbusters without him. I mean, that guy, anyone who thinks Harold Ramis only done this, and I'm sure if you're watching this show, you know who Harold Ramis is and what he's done in the past and what he's been a part of. My God, the lad's accolades are absolutely phenomenal. But
even just for writing alone.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, his creation of movies and his creation of characters.
Yeah.
It's just second to none.
Well,
it's definitely second to none.
Do, re, mi, gone.
Gone. That's one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then the little smile.
He's just laughing about it.
He's absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the thing was, I'm going from Wikipedia on this, but I can kind of verify it myself, having been waiting for that kind of sequel, the way a lot of people are waiting for Beetlejuice and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean? I
actually hope that doesn't happen. I really hope that doesn't happen. I know it's going to happen, but I really hope it doesn't.
Well, we mentioned
doesn't need a second.
No. But this was kind of one that obviously went back and forth for quite a while, and obviously Bill Murray refused. And after cast member Harold Ramis died in February 24th, 2014, Sony, like little rats, produced a female-driven reboot, in the interest of wokeness and all this kind of crap. Directed by Paul Feig. I don't know who you are, but fuck you, guy.
He's that dope that came out when this trilogy came out. He's like, why isn't my one in there?
That's right.
It's shy. You fucking bell end.
You absolute knobhead.
That's not taking that away from him. I don't know if he's a bell end or not. But
he looks like a bell end. So there you go.
And if you come out complaining that yours didn't get in, you don't deserve to be in. You're shy. It was shite movie, shite acting, shite everything.
And it was written with an agenda just to make it all, because
it's the same as Ocean's 11 became Ocean's 8 or 7.
Don't forget, that's because, if you think about it, 2 years ago, this was the whole I Believe Her movement and all. It was all about women having their say and stuff. And now women don't matter anymore. Now it's all about trans. So it's just the way it works. And unfortunately, this franchise got put into that because of Hollywood and the message they were trying to send. But either way, the people know that it was shit and it was irrelevant as far as a movie goes. And if I'm offending anyone here on this podcast, hell, don't listen to me anymore. But so
if we're offending anyone, we don't want to know you.
Yeah, simple. Exactly, because we're calling it like we see it. Do you know what I mean? But after Feig, here it's written beautifully here. After Feig's, it's Feig. I'm saying Feig or Feig.
Feig. It's Feig.
Feig. We call him Feig. Yeah. After it drew controversy and underperformed commercially, Jason Reitman developed a sequel to the original films. Now, Jason Reitman is obviously who's brought us the latest one, and I think it's absolutely fantastic.
He's Ivan Reitman's son, of course.
Yes,
he directed the first two.
Absolutely. So this is where
I love that Ivan was involved in the new one as a producer.
Yeah.
So like he was brought in and he developed from the back. He didn't want any fucking
credit,
major publicity out of it. He just wanted to help because he loved the franchise.
Yeah.
And dude, like this is exactly, and this is and the funny thing is, like he died in February 2022 as well. Actually,
he died just that. Yeah.
But it was amazing that he got to kind of do that, I suppose, on behalf of himself and Harold Ramis as well, and kind of bring that, that
full circle.
Bring it to now. This movie, why don't you two boys talk about a little bit of the premise of this movie, just for people that may or may not have seen it, or that are too invested in the first two and why they should see it. Carl, you go first. Me and Greg have been mounting off like the brain end.
Yeah.
So this one starts off with it's like a young family, and they're actually. It turns out that they have a very special grandparent, and of course they're trying to pay the rent and all this kind of stuff. And your woman brings the family out to this country house that she kind of inherited, I suppose you could say, but it's kind of in bits. And
the dirt farmer.
Yeah, the dirt farmer. Yeah, and one of the fellas from Stranger Things is in this, isn't he? What's his name?
Yeah, Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah,
because Egon had captured like an entity in one of the mines in it.
Yeah.
And so the chase scene at the start of this.
It's deadly.
Yeah. He's just ripping it along.
I love like Ollie, and when the kids realize who their grandfather is, it's actually Egon. Again, try not to give too much away here.
No. We won't go through it plot by plot. But basically, it's Egon's. It's his family. It's obviously his daughter and it's his sons. And obviously, the daughter isn't really a big fan of Egon because she thinks
he left. He left for no reason. Yeah, and
exactly. But the fact is, he got something. He came across something, and
he was the only one of the Ghostbusters that seems that kept on the Ghostbusting. We'll say.
Can we just give away one little scene that I absolutely marked out for?
Go on.
It's when the phone call is made and you see the hand coming down with the red phone.
Yeah.
And it's in, of course, it's Ray Stantz, and obviously they're in the occultist shop. The shop is still there. Occult books and oddities. And I was just like, this is just amazing. Like,
there's a note. She gets the number and it's like, ring this number.
Yeah. It's like,
we need help.
So obvious. Do it right now.
But it was like that, and then they're like, who are you gonna call? And then she rings in the police station. You're like, I get jokes.
That's the one. And also the little oh man, it's actually so sad. It's giving me emotion now. The bit when she's down in the basement and she finds everything and the light starts moving. It's like the light is guiding her. It's him.
It's brilliant.
It's him guiding her, and then
how to build it and how to fix it.
Oh, like it's just absolutely fantastic. And then eventually when the man kind of cops on and she sees all the pictures of her as a kid, and
you had them all around.
He never left.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
I love one of the one things I do love about this is when she's like lying in bed and the chessboard is there.
Yeah.
And she fixes the chessboard. Next thing the piece moves, she wakes up and she's like, "What?" And then they start playing chess with me. It's like they start playing
chess.
That was
the little young one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
She was fantastic in that, by the way. She was like a little mini.
She's got to be phenomenal. Yeah.
She was brilliant.
She's brilliant in everything.
I love the fact that there's just the right amount of fan service for this, for us to accept the kind of handover to the younger, if there's going to be another one. Like, I love that.
Yeah, I don't know if there will be now.
No, but if they wanted one to be, I think we would get behind as fans of the original 2
100%.
and 3, You know, I just thought, the amount of, as you said, the amount of fan service.
It was funny.
Some people give out about the amount of fan service, innit?
Well, look, some people
it hit all the right notes.
You can't please everyone. When I first watched it, I was like, right. I was told Bill Murray and all are in this. Come on, give me more of it. Like, fuck this. And I swear to God, my better half, Rachel, as you boys know, was watching. And she was like, I know you're enjoying this, but you're like, where the fuck is Bill Murray? And blah blah blah.
I mean, you don't put Bill Murray on it for no reason and don't show him.
But the great thing about it was it was like watching, say, WrestleMania, and going through 3 hours waiting for that Stone Cold moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You don't want Stone Cold throughout the whole show because then it gets diluted, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean about those. Just enough of everything that we all love about those films.
Yeah, and it was crazy.
Like, I will say now, when we obviously went to see it in the cinema, I got really annoyed the first sort of half an hour.
Yes, that's kind of what I was trying to say.
I was like, are they just rehashing this story from the first one? Like, Zoe was like, what? And I was like, it's pretty much the same story as the first one. And then after I realized what they were doing, I was like, oh, this is good.
It was really fucking smart, man. Like, I got egg on my face, and you know, not a lot of times I'm glad to get egg on my face, but I did. Lads.
And then it gets to near the end, and then
when
the one thing I will say, this is where social media ruins things for people, because obviously the lads were spotted coming off the set.
Yeah.
And some fucking gobdog decided to take a photo and ruin it for everybody else.
All the time.
I know it does, yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, we didn't need to see that. Like, we're fucking 2,500, 3,000, 4,000 miles away. You know what I mean?
I'm happy to say
it to your friends.
I'm happy to say that. I'm happy to say that I'm enough old school that I didn't see it. I've taken a nice long, maybe 2-year break since COVID from Facebook, and it's been absolutely heaven. Hence why people don't see any statuses from me and Kelly on Facebook anymore, other than posting podcasts. And it was one of those things that I only learned after the fact, and I was just so glad that I didn't see that picture, because I obviously saw it after the fact. But like, that must have been infuriating for you guys seeing it, like, or people that
like, they're on set, and then people were like, "Oh, well, maybe they're in it as ghosts, or maybe they're just producing it." If you're getting them lads to come back, whether you put them in as ghosts or whether you put them in as thing, they're going to be in the movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? And some fucker ruined it for.
I didn't let it bother me. I just knew I was going to enjoy it. You know what I mean?
I got over it quite quickly, and I was like, I'm still looking forward to seeing it. I know they're going to be in it, and I knew they were only going to be in it for a short time. But
enough time.
Yeah, but like, when obviously they're shooting down Gozer in this one, and then
but when they come back, lads, we can't just say when they're shooting down Gozer. That's almost as bad as giving away the effect. Come on, Greg.
Well, I'm sorry, but the movie's what, 6 months old now. If you haven't seen it, that's not my fault.
No, but you got to give a bit of build up as to when they come back. I mean, when they come back.
That's what I was saying. When they were shooting down Gozer, they shoot down Gozer about 5 or 6 times in this movie.
But the camera doesn't just pan to them and they're there shooting down.
Yeah, you jumped in before I'd finished.
Oh, yeah, but you already went to their shooting Gozer now. Gozer, should I say. They're shooting down Gozer.
Finn Wolfhard and Thompson McKenzie are shooting them, along with the girlfriend and the ma.
Continue. Go on. Get out of this. See, I love it. Come on.
You bottled it.
Listen,
Call yourself a host.
I'm not a Spurs fan. Would you stop?
No, you're a Chelsea fan. They bottled a 3-0 lead last night.
We bottled nothing. The only thing I bottled is energy, sexiness, and aggression all in one. And that was nice, actually. We could market that, maybe. Arrogance, like the great Rick Martel. So. But no, Greg, you're spot on there. When they come in and join, that's the mark out moment, isn't it? You're like,
and you don't even see it, you just get the voice.
Yep.
And you just know who it is, and you're like, oh, there it is.
Lads, right, Carl, I'm gonna hand this over to you, because if I start talking about it, I'll probably just start tearing up.
Someone was cutting onions in the cinema when I seen this.
Yeah.
Cutting onions, and I was like, what are you doing cutting onions in here?
Rachel looked around at me, so I'm sitting in the corner part of the couch. She's sitting here, And she likes to do this when she knows I'm emotional too, because she knows I go quiet. I don't say that. And she's like, Ian Kelly never shuts his fucking mouth. So if he's quiet, he's upset. So she looks over and she goes, you okay? But the thing on this particular occasion, she knew not to even say it. And she waited till the end of the movie and goes, you okay? It's like, good Lord.
Are you alive?
Man, that when you see Harold Ramis, good Lord. Carl, take it.
I have to say, you're seeing all this nowadays where they bring back characters, with CG or whatever, and they're getting better at it. Like, I mean, when they did it with the man out of Star Wars, Peter Cushing.
Oh, man. Jesus, that was another one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
Mr. Horror.
So they're doing and they're doing it now, but it really, really worked well with Harold Ramis.
This is the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, and like that you said, it got me in the fucking feels, like, really did.
You texted me, Carol, didn't you, after you seen it, and you were like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I definitely cried.
Yeah.
It was just, I was just like,
Put it this way, lads. We watched it. I watched it on the telly. I got it on Sky or whatever, rented it or whatever. And Arlene was sitting beside me. She's like, right, I'm going to bed. And she ended up watching the whole film with me. And she was like, that was amazing. And she was even starting to get a little bit of a tear in her eye as well, So from someone who was going to bed at the start of the film to watch the whole film, and she was hooked on it. She thought it was amazing. We had a great time watching it. That's the that's the main thing about these films, lads. We had a great time watching them, all three of them.
Yeah. And I think 100%. I will say, as probably, I don't know if I can really make this claim, but maybe I can, but probably the biggest fanatic, I suppose, of Ghostbusters, like being obsessed, I have to say, sometimes I can be a snob, Greg can be a snob, Carl can be a snob for their favorite particular franchises. For me, as since Yay High up to now, and Ghostbusters having never left my system, I think they knocked it out of the park with this one, to be fair. And I think it definitely no criticism from me whatsoever in terms of its place as the third and deservedly part of a trilogy, and done in honor.
Hopefully the final.
Yes,
hopefully the final.
I hope so
but
too.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is another one. Put it that way.
They might run off the franchise and use.
It's so big, isn't it? It's so big.
They could well use somebody to do it. I'm just not sure whether they use Thompson McKenzie or they'll use, not Thompson McKenzie, McKenna Grace, or what they'll do is they'll brand somebody new and use the girlfriend to reboot the franchise off her then.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, the only thing is with Joseph Reitman, obviously he'd done a fantastic job, and obviously now, that's obviously his baby now with the dad passing as well. So it's kind of it's very hard to get away from the Ghostbusters franchise, much like it is the, I'm so glad they've never done Touch Back to the Future or Gremlins and stuff like that. But I mean, Ghostbusters, I think, is just on such a different level, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, for example, that it always comes back around. And when you look at, say, a show like Stranger Things, which is based in the 80s, and the kids are wearing the Ghostbusters stuff, it's young kids going, oh shit, what's that like? And then they go back and watch the movies, and their dads and their moms, their parents who grew up on those movies show them. It's it's a franchise that's never going to die, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully not. Well, for me now, I hope it's finished and it stays finished.
I would prefer that. I think that's the perfect send off.
You've seen a horror showing in that women's one to then bring this I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece, but it's a very, very fucking good follow-on movie from when this came out, 2021. When was it? 89. Talking about 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. It exercises the bad taste of that last one out of everyone's mind.
What one are we talking about? I don't even know.
Exactly. Yeah, just some idea that someone had in their head.
There was a chick flick version of Ghostbusters. Was it a porn?
No, sorry, that was Ocean's 11. That was Ocean's 11 that they made a chick flick of.
Fair enough.
My bad.
Fair
Even
enough.
that was terrible though.
Fair enough.
But yeah, no. This was a great send off, and I love like even just a little bit during the credits, and it's like for Harold.
Yeah. Oh, that again.
Even getting Annie Potts to appear in it as well, and then like at the end, the credits seeing Sigourney Weaver and all in it. And I thought they were really good little touches, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's the one mistake they made in this movie that I can think of off the top of my head, was the credits started rolling and it brought up Sigourney Weaver's name before she'd appeared in it.
Yes. I remember, actually, do you know what, Greg? You're fucking spot on with that, because I remember looking at Rachel going, she wasn't in that. What's the story?
Unless she was Gozer herself, but
she was
too old.
Yeah.
She wasn't, no. So it was like...
Now, I will say, Ted, when he seen it, text me. I don't know, I can't remember if it was in the air group chat or whatnot. But he was like, do you remember when they were down in the cave and it has all the dates? So 84, 89, 2021. There's another date beside that. So there's another year beside it. So do you know the way it's all in Roman numerals and it's like X81. If you go back and watch it, you'll see 81.
And it would be Ted with the analytical brain that would be fucking
good old Tombstone Ted, eh?
That's the one.
Man. The chap is unreal. When you want analytics done, you want Ted on the case.
Yeah. But like he texted me, I can't remember whether it was air group chat or he texted me thing. But yeah, there's another date on it now. Whether they choose to go with it or they'll just say, listen, that was perfect and
hopefully they leave it, yeah.
Well, look, we'll see. You know, we don't. It's like certain owners trying to buy your favorite football team. You have no say. You just hope. You know what I mean? So I suppose it's like this with this particular franchise. I think it's the perfect way to close it off and to move on and let it
100%
let it be. But I think it was absolutely fantastic. I think it was amazing. Obviously, some sort of ghost has grabbed our third member here, Carl, and he's frozen in time. Hopefully, he won't be frozen for too long. Could be a thing where like literally 2,000 years have passed within this space of time. Oh, and now he's left.
Arlene seeing the bank balance and what she spent on fright rags this month.
He was out buying collectibles and fright rags merch, and now he's gone. But look, that is a perfect way for us to actually close the show. To be fair,
well, actually, just before that, we close out. Fright rags have just dropped their Killer Clowns from Outer Space content.
I have seen it,
and yeah, I'm in trouble.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite one of the Killer Clowns?
Jeez, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I generally don't think I could pick one.
Two for me for some reason. I don't know why. Just because I can't.
It's just because.
It's.
I generally couldn't. I couldn't even tell you, but I know. I don't know if Fright Rags are allowed to ship the glasses to outside of America.
Yeah.
But some of the other gear, the T-shirts are just phenomenal.
T-shirts are absolute. Listen, to be honest with you guys and girls, like you're watching this show because you're a horror fan, and like myself and Greg and Carl and Tombstone Ted, like we fucking live this shit. Like we love it. You know what I mean? And that's why we do it. And like you can literally go and find merch on there that you're like, shit, I've been meaning to watch that movie. I'm gonna go and watch it. You know, it's the only kind of, I gotta be honest with you, it's the only horror site, merchandise site where you can be guaranteed, even if you've got a Z-list movie, that's one of your favorites, that will be made eventually, if it's not already there. Do you know what I mean?
Like if you look at it, like I have Dog Soldiers tops, I have Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I actually have The Crow here.
Oh yeah, show them that.
Like, look at this. That is an absolute fucking pinger.
Masterpiece.
Like, and The Crow is such an underrated movie. Now it's not fully horror either. So like you can get Back to the Future gear. There's Jaws. Like Ian, you got the thing, didn't you?
I'll show you my two while you're talking there. Yeah, I'll show you two.
Yeah, the thing Ian got. Carl, who has dropped off unfortunately, he got Fulci Zombie, and did he get? Was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
He did.
The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I think. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like the gear that the lads produce are just fucking phenomenal.
I'll show you.
Like look at that, and the quality of them. Like my oldest Fright Rags top is 9 years old. Like if you've seen the episode that we did with Ben, he actually confirmed that it was 9 years or so before he had that license. And that's the other thing. They're all that the They Live is the other one.
Look at that.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Just absolutely beautiful. I feel like Naomi Campbell at a free for all with these shows, just rocking the merch.
So yeah, as usual, use the code if you're going over to buy it, and it's OTS Horror 10 for now 10% discount.
And we've got Carl back.
I'm so sorry about that, folks. Crappy internet. Sorry.
We've actually told them the real reason. Arlo found your bank statement with all the Fright Rags deductions on it.
She's yet to figure that out when.
Yeah, that will happen. We all get done there. But no, 100%, ladies and gentlemen, do go over, do yourself a favor, and go over and check out all the amazing merch there. It's unbelievable. Like I said, just look at these two that I have here. Just absolutely fantastic. Like, I mean, whatever your favorite. Look, I can guarantee you there'll be video drone stuff there. There'll be, Psycho, Maniac Cop. All these kind of
they're dropping new things every week.
Every week, man. It's just like they're literally trying to cover the whole game of horror. It's absolutely.
We'll link up anything. We'll link up anything they have to our pages and our socials and stuff. Anyway, so you won't miss out.
Like Ben and the team are just fucking sound to deal with too.
Yeah, and Ben last week was trying to push me to as well, just to avert people's eyes, obviously, and Greg yourself as well. He was talking to turn people's eyes to the amazing Escape from LA merch that they have. I mean, even if you're not
Escape from New York.
Escape from New York. Sorry, my apologies. That was the follow.
No one wants the LA.
No one wants the LA. Yeah. It's a blue state. Although so is New York. I'm just literally teasing all these people here going, is that an Irish Republican? I'm like, well, yeah, it depending on who you ask.
I don't know. Escape from New York, the one they done with the Cobra head. I mentioned it last week when we were on with Ali.
Unbelievable.
The one with the Cobra head is just phenomenal.
And of course, we will have my Crow long sleeve on the way soon, which is just basically.
You got the Hangman's Joke, did you?
No, but it's gonna be on the way. So it's
that's the one you're getting, the Hangman's Joke.
Yeah, that's the one I'm getting. Yeah.
Savage.
It's absolutely unbelievable. It's my style. It's like you can go on stage in a metal show and wear that shit and look badass. You know what I mean? It's no, look, it's absolutely phenomenal. But look, we're gonna leave it there. Like I say, and as Greg said, I second it. Go and make sure you do put the promo code in OTS Horror 10, and you're gonna get 10% off all this great merch. It's absolutely phenomenal. Even if there's a couple of yous that want to all chip in and buy something together, man, you're gonna literally cover your customs fee and then some, and you're basically getting t-shirts at face value that you would buy in fucking any kind of retail shop over here in Ireland or the UK or Europe, wherever you are. So
for probably treble the price over here.
Exactly. So do yourself a favor, go and look cool, look shit cool, look odd. If you're a kid watching the show and you're not meant to be watching the show, go and scare the beat Jesus out of those bullies in school as well, and just just look that extra bit intimidating and wear some of the badass horror merch there. I'm condoning you. I'm talking to you, boy. Get
Uncle Dynamo says it's okay.
Uncle Dynamo says it's okay. And remember, strike first and strike hard. I
love the Cobra Kai reference.
Yeah, always.
Forever to heal.
Yeah.
I live it, baby. Parents, I'm going to get parents' letters now, like letters, actual letters to my door. You're encouraging my son, but well, listen, your son shouldn't be watching an over 18 show. So get off my stage, bitch.
It's over.
So, with that, we are going to draw this amazing, I think, conversation, really, of probably one of the best trilogies of all time, in my opinion, without a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely.
And
ironically, that wasn't on that trilogy thing that we shared on the Facebook page there a couple of weeks ago.
No.
Well, I suppose that was probably done. I'm pretty sure I seen that last year before this one came out.
Yeah.
Before Afterlife came out, so.
But as a franchise,
it's well up there.
Shadow,
well up there.
Literally,
absolutely,
right up at the tippy top. So, until next week, we are here bringing you this on Friday night. Lads, we didn't say it at the start because I didn't have too much confidence in you, but I'm going to give you a chance now. Why do we bring this show on a Friday night?
Because Friday night's horror night. To be fair, we got rid of that long-standing joke during the 30s and 40s episodes.
I was hoping you motherfuckers would mess up there on purpose almost. No. I was like, did you not get the script?
No. If you didn't send it, we didn't get it.
Okay. Well, if you're watching this here podcast on Saturday morning, then
wake up.
Yeah. Sorry for you. But look, with that, it's time to go until next week. For me, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, for Greg, the G-Man Flanagan, and of course, for the bearded badass that is Carl King. Whoa. We will be back next week. Stay scared, stay hungry, stay afraid.